Welcome, dear friends. I'm so glad you are here with me right now. I want you to know that this moment, this very breath, is already enough. There is nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to rush into becoming. Just allow yourself to soften as we begin, because today we are talking about something very simple and very powerful: how your day begins and how your day ends, and how these two gentle moments quietly shape your entire life. You see, my dear, your life is not only formed by the big events or the dramatic changes, it is formed day after day by the first thought you think when you wake up and the last feeling you carry with you into sleep. My day begins and ends with gratitude. And this is not just a beautiful sentence. It is a way of teaching your subconscious mind that life is safe, that life is supportive, that you are held. Life does not begin when your feet touch the floor. It begins when your eyes open and your mind whispers its very first story. And that story, whether it is loving or fearful, sets the tone for everything that follows. So let's pause for a moment together. You don't have to do this perfectly. There is no right way. Just notice your body where you are, maybe still lying in bed, maybe sitting comfortably, and allow yourself to arrive. Take a slow breath in and gently let it go. Yes, just like that. I want to remind you of something you may have forgotten. Every single day is a fresh beginning if you allow it to be. You are not required to carry yesterday into today. You are not obligated to replay old worries, old mistakes, or old conversations. The mind may try to do that out of habit, but you, my dear, have a choice. When you wake up and choose gratitude, even before anything good happens, you are telling life, I am open, I am willing, I trust. And life listens. Life always listens. Now, as you lie there, let your body relax. Let the muscles of your face soften. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Breathe in and breathe out, as if each breath were a gentle lullaby for your nervous system. If there is any residue from your dreams, confusion, emotion, tension, allow it to float away with your exhale. You don't need to analyze it. You don't need to understand it. Simply let it pass, and gently, lovingly say to yourself, this is a brand new day. I do not bring yesterday with me. Feel how those words land in your body. Feel the space they create. This is not about denying your experiences. It is about freeing yourself from unnecessary weight. You deserve to start light. Many of us were taught to wake up and immediately brace ourselves for responsibilities, for problems, for what might go wrong. But sweetheart, that is not kindness. That is not love. And I want you to hear this clearly. You do not need to prepare for suffering in order to survive the day. When you wake up with gratitude, even simple gratitude, like being thankful for your breath, your bed, or the light coming through the window, you tune yourself to a frequency that allows support to find you. Gratitude in the morning is not pretending everything is perfect. It is acknowledging that life is present and that you are willing to meet it with openness rather than fear. Now let's talk about the power of your present thoughts, because this is where true healing begins. It does not matter what you thought yesterday. It does not matter what you believed last year or even 5 minutes ago. What matters is what you are choosing right now. Your thoughts are not just reactions, they are instructions. They are messages you send to your body, to your subconscious, and to life itself. When you choose a thought of peace, even gently, even imperfectly, you begin to change the direction of your future. This is not magic, it is alignment, and alignment happens one thought at a time. If you notice fear, let it be there without judgment. If you notice worry, acknowledge it kindly. You don't need to push anything away. Simply say, I see you and I choose differently now. And then, softly, begin to release what no longer serves you. Release fear, release anxiety, release anger, release resentment, release guilt. These are not punishments you must carry. They are habits that can be gently unlearned. Place your hand on your heart if that feels comforting, and remind yourself, I am safe in this moment. Safety is the foundation of healing. When your body feels safe, your mind can soften. When your mind softens, your heart can open. Gratitude is one of the most loving ways to create that sense of safety. When you are grateful in the morning, you tell your subconscious mind, there is enough, I am supported. And when you are grateful in the evening, you tell it, you can rest now. All is well. This is why I say that how you end your day is just as important as how you begin it. As you prepare for sleep, take a moment to acknowledge what went right, even if the day felt challenging. Maybe you breathed through something difficult. Maybe you were kind to yourself once. Maybe you simply made it through. That is enough. Gratitude does not ask you to ignore pain. It asks you to recognize your strength and your growth within it. Before sleep, let go again. Let go of judgments about the day. Let go of should-haves and if-onlys. They do not belong in your bed. Your bed is a place of restoration, not rehearsal. Whisper to yourself, I choose peace now, and feel how your body responds to permission. The subconscious mind is always listening, especially as you drift into sleep. What you tell it at night becomes the soil in which tomorrow grows. Plant gratitude, plant gentleness, plant trust. I want you to remember this, my dear. You are not here to struggle your way into worthiness. You are already worthy. Gratitude simply helps you remember that. When you begin and end your day with thankfulness, you stop arguing with life and you start cooperating with it. And life, when met with cooperation, becomes surprisingly kind. Not perfect, not problem-free, but kind, supportive, responsive. So, as we continue on this journey together, I invite you to make this a loving practice, not another task. If you forget one morning, be gentle. If you fall asleep without gratitude one night, forgive yourself. Healing is not about doing everything right. It is about returning to love again and again. And you can always return in this moment, right now, with this breath. Let me leave you with this truth, spoken softly and meant to be felt. When you change the way you think in the present moment, You change the direction of your life. Begin your day with gratitude. End your day with gratitude. And in between, allow yourself to be human, to learn, to grow, and to be loved. You are doing beautifully, and life is responding to you more than you realize. All is well. I am not here to fix you, my dear. I am here to remind you of who you already are. And as we move gently into this next part together, I want you to soften even more deeply into your chair, into your breath, into this moment. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. Let your heart open just a little wider than it was a moment ago. Because now we are stepping into one of the most transformative practices I have ever shared. Gratitude that heals, gratitude that frees, gratitude that changes not only your day, but the way you live inside yourself. When we speak of affirmations of gratitude for a new day, we are not talking about repeating words mechanically or trying to convince yourself that everything is wonderful when it doesn't feel that way. No, sweetheart. Affirmations are loving directions. They are gentle instructions you give to your subconscious mind, to your nervous system, to your body, saying, "This is how I choose to relate to life now." And when gratitude is woven into those affirmations, something profound happens. Resistance begins to melt, and life begins to respond with more ease. Let's begin with the first and perhaps the most liberating gift you can give yourself in the morning: letting go and forgiving. Many people think forgiveness is something you do when you are ready, when the pain is gone, when the other person has changed or apologized. But I want to offer you a deeper truth. Forgiveness is not about the other person at all. It is about freeing yourself from carrying yesterday into today. Anger and resentment do not punish the past. They exhaust the present. And when you wake up holding on to them, you quietly teach your body that it is not safe to relax. So let me invite you now, gently, without force, to say these words with me, or simply listen and let them sink in. I release all need for anger or resentment. I forgive everyone, and I forgive myself. Feel into that. Notice what arises. You may feel resistance. You may feel emotion. That is perfectly okay. Healing does not mean you feel peaceful instantly. It means you are willing to choose peace even while emotions move through you. Forgiveness is not weakness. Forgiveness is self-respect. It is the moment you say, "I deserve to live unburdened." And sweetheart, please hear this. Forgiving yourself is just as important, if not more so. Many of us are far harsher with ourselves than we have ever been with anyone else. We replay mistakes. We criticize our choices. We carry shame like a badge we think we must earn our way out of. But there is nothing you need to earn. You were born worthy. When you forgive yourself, you send a powerful message to your subconscious mind. I am allowed to grow without punishment. And that is when real change begins. Now, let's move into a practice that I have shared for many years. One that is deceptively simple and extraordinarily powerful. Sending love ahead of you before you go to work, before you go shopping, before you meet someone new. Before you walk into a doctor's office or pick up the phone, pause for just a moment and imagine sending love ahead of you like a gentle light to the place you are going and the people you are about to meet. You don't need to visualize perfectly. You don't need to concentrate hard. Just intend it. Love responds to intention. Why does this work? Because where you send love, you create safety. And where there is safety, the body relaxes. Where the body relaxes, intuition flows. And where intuition flows, life becomes more cooperative. This is not about controlling outcomes. It is about aligning your energy with kindness instead of fear. When you send love ahead, you are saying to life, I trust you enough to meet you with an open heart, and life, my dear, loves to meet you there. You may notice that situations soften, conversations flow more easily, even challenges feel less sharp. That does not mean difficulties disappear, but they lose their power to harden you. Love disarms fear. And every time you choose love first, you are retraining your subconscious mind to expect support instead of danger. Now we arrive at the foundation beneath all healing, all gratitude, all transformation, self-acceptance. There is a reason I have repeated this affirmation for decades, and I will continue to repeat it because it works at the deepest level of the psyche. I approve of myself. That's it. No conditions. No explanations. No improvements required. Just approval. Just acceptance. Just love. Say it with me now, softly or silently. I approve of myself. Notice how simple it is and how challenging it may feel. The mind wants reasons. It wants to negotiate. It wants to say, I'll approve of myself when. But approval that comes with conditions is not approval, it is performance, and performance is exhausting. Self-love is not a reward for being perfect. It is the ground from which growth naturally arises. When you repeat this affirmation dozens, even hundreds of times a day, something extraordinary happens. The inner critic begins to lose its grip. The nervous system begins to calm. The body receives permission to heal. You stop fighting yourself, and that frees enormous amounts of energy. And remember this, every relationship you have with others mirrors the relationship you have with yourself. When you approve of yourself, you invite healthier, kinder, more respectful connections into your life. Now let's gently turn toward something many people resist, gratitude for challenges. Yes, my dear, even the difficult moments. Not because pain is good, and not because you deserved it, but because every challenge carries a message, a lesson, an invitation to awaken a deeper part of yourself. When you ask, why is this happening to me? You place yourself in the position of victimhood. But when you ask, what can I learn from this? You reclaim your power. This question is not meant to blame you or minimize your experience. It is meant to empower you. Life is not punishing you. Life is teaching you. Every problem appears to awaken a strength that has been waiting patiently within you. Sometimes it is self-trust. Sometimes it is boundaries. Sometimes it is compassion. And sometimes it is the courage to change direction. The lesson is not in the pain. The lesson is in the awareness that follows. When you meet challenges with gratitude, not forced gratitude, but curious gratitude, you stop resisting life and start partnering with it. You begin to see patterns. You begin to understand yourself more deeply. And most importantly, you stop abandoning yourself when things get hard. You stay present. You stay kind. You stay open. And that, sweetheart, is true healing. So as you move through this day, I invite you to carry these affirmations like gentle companions. Forgive. Send love ahead. Approve of yourself. Learn from what arises. Begin your day with gratitude and let it guide your choices. End your day with gratitude and let it soothe your mind into rest. You do not need to do all of this perfectly. You only need to be willing. Remember, my dear, healing is not a destination. It is a relationship with your thoughts, your body, your past, and your present moment. And gratitude is one of the most loving ways to deepen that relationship. Be gentle with yourself today. Speak kindly to yourself, and know in the deepest part of your being that you are supported, you are learning, and you are already enough. All is well. I love the way life is always inviting us to see beyond our old limits. And as we move gently into this next teaching together, I want you to feel how spacious this moment already is. Take a breath with me, slowly, lovingly, and let yourself arrive. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to hear this now. Because today we are talking about abundance, not as a concept, not as something to chase, but as the natural state of the universe and the natural state of you when you stop arguing with life. You see, my dear, the universe is not stingy, it is not withholding, it is not keeping score and deciding who deserves more and who deserves less. The universe is endlessly generous, and it is responding to the beliefs you hold about what is possible for you. When we grow up believing there is not enough love, not enough money, not enough opportunities, we unknowingly contract ourselves. We tighten our bodies. We compete. We compare. We fear. And fear is never a doorway to abundance. Fear is a wall we build and then forget we built. Let me say this gently, because it is important. Someone else's success does not take anything away from you. There is not a fixed amount of love or prosperity that must be divided up. Life is not a pie with limited slices. Life is a flowing river, endlessly renewing itself. When one person drinks from it, the river does not run dry. It keeps flowing. It always has. And you are part of that flow, whether you allow yourself to feel it or not. Many of us were taught, very subtly, to see other people's success as a threat. We smile on the outside, but inside, we tighten. We think, what about me? Or, why not me? And sweetheart, there is no shame in noticing that reaction. Awareness is the beginning of healing. But I want to offer you a new choice, a new practice that can radically change the way abundance moves through your life. Gratitude for the prosperity of others. This may sound counterintuitive at first. The mind says, why should I be grateful for someone else's success when I want my own? But the subconscious mind hears something very different when you practice this. It hears, there is more than enough. Success is safe. Prosperity is welcome. And when your subconscious mind believes abundance is safe, it allows it to come closer to you. What you celebrate, you invite. What you resent, you block. So let's explore this together, slowly, kindly. Think of someone you know, or even someone you don't know personally, who is experiencing success, joy, recognition, or prosperity. Notice what arises in you. Don't judge it, just notice. And now, gently, say within yourself, I am truly happy for you. Your success inspires me. Feel how that shifts your body, even a little. That shift is the opening. That is the door. When you bless the good you see in the world, you align yourself with that same good. Gratitude is not approval of inequality. It is recognition of possibility. When you are grateful as if someone else's success were your own, you dissolve the illusion of separation. You remember that life is working through all of us in different forms at different times. And that remembrance brings peace. Peace opens the heart, and an open heart is magnetic. The universe responds to your emotional tone far more than to your words. You can say affirmations all day long, but if underneath them is fear, jealousy, or scarcity, that is the signal being sent. This is why practicing gratitude for others is so powerful. It retrains your emotional response. It teaches your nervous system that abundance does not equal danger. It teaches your inner child that there is room for you too. And when that lesson is learned, life can finally deliver what it has been trying to give you all along. Let's talk about the idea of lack for a moment, because it is often misunderstood. Lack is not a fact. Lack is a belief. It is a habit of perception. Two people can look at the same situation and experience completely different realities based solely on what they believe is possible. One sees obstacles, the other sees opportunities. One sees competition, the other sees collaboration. And abundance flows far more easily to the one who trusts life than to the one who braces against it. Now, this does not mean you never take action. It does not mean you sit back and wait. It means your actions come from alignment rather than desperation. When you act from gratitude, you act with clarity. When you act from scarcity, you act with tension, and life responds differently to each. The universe loves clarity, it loves joy, it loves openness, and it mirrors back what you consistently offer. So I invite you to make this a living practice. When you hear good news about someone else, pause, breathe, and say, thank you for showing me what is possible. Let that be your response. Over time, this rewires your subconscious mind. Over time, comparison loosens its grip. Over time, you stop measuring yourself against others and start trusting your own timing. And that trust is one of the most abundant states you can live in. Remember this, my dear. Your path does not have to look like anyone else's to be successful. The universe is creative beyond measure. It does not repeat itself. It expresses through you in a way that has never existed before and never will again. When you stop envying someone else's expression and start honoring your own, abundance finds its most natural channel, you. Gratitude, in this sense, becomes an act of courage. It says, I believe there is enough for all of us. It says, I am not threatened by your light. It says, I trust that my turn in my way is unfolding. And when you live from that belief, life begins to cooperate in unexpected, delightful ways. Opportunities appear, support shows up, ideas flow, not because you forced them, but because you stopped resisting. The universe is a loving place when we allow it to be. When you are grateful for the abundance you see around you, you are telling life that you feel safe receiving. Safety is essential. A nervous system locked in comparison and fear cannot receive freely, but a relaxed, trusting system can receive with ease. This is why gratitude is so healing, not just emotionally, but physically and spiritually as well. So today, bless the success you see. Celebrate the joy you witness. Smile at the prosperity of others, not because you are pretending everything is perfect, but because you are choosing to live in alignment with truth. And the truth is this: there is more than enough love, more than enough opportunity, more than enough abundance for everyone, including you. As you hold this teaching in your heart, let it soften the places that once tightened. Let it quiet the voice that says, what if I miss out? You are not missing out on life. Life is moving with you, responding to you, reflecting you. And when you choose gratitude, real embodied gratitude, you become a welcoming home for abundance to enter. I want to leave you with this gentle reminder, spoken slowly so it can sink in. The universe does not measure you against anyone else. It responds only to your willingness to love, to trust, and to receive. Celebrate others, bless their success, and know in the deepest part of your being that by doing so, you are opening the door wider and wider for your own joy to flow in. All is well. I want to share something very tender with you now, something that sits at the very heart of gratitude itself. Because gratitude, real gratitude, is not just about saying thank you for the good things that happen to you. Gratitude is a relationship. And the most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. This is why self-love is not selfish, not optional, and not a luxury. Self-love is the highest form of gratitude you can offer to life. You see, my dear, when you say you are grateful for life, but you criticize yourself, judge yourself, or push yourself away, there is a quiet contradiction happening inside. Life hears mixed messages. The body hears mixed messages. The subconscious mind hears mixed messages. And healing cannot fully take root where rejection still lives. You cannot truly say thank you to life while saying you are not enough to yourself. So let's pause together for a moment. Let's soften. Let's go gently. Because this teaching is not meant to shame you, it is meant to free you. Many of us learned very early that love had to be earned, that we had to behave a certain way, look a certain way, succeed a certain way to deserve kindness, and that belief quietly turned inward. We became the ones withholding love from ourselves. And yet, all the while, life has been waiting for us to turn around and say yes to who we already are. This is where mirror work becomes such a powerful doorway, not because the mirror is magical, but because it shows us exactly where we are still resisting ourselves. When you look into your own eyes, you are meeting the part of you that has been waiting a very long time to be seen without conditions. And yes, it may feel uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is not failure, it is honesty. Healing begins with honesty. So, I invite you to try this, not perfectly, not bravely, just willingly. Stand or sit in front of a mirror. Look into your eyes, breathe, and say slowly, "I love you." Notice what happens inside. Maybe you feel warmth, maybe you feel sadness, maybe you feel resistance. Whatever arises is welcome. This is not a test. This is a conversation. And then say, "Thank you for being you." Not because you have done everything right, not because you have fixed yourself, but simply because you exist. When you do this, something very old begins to soften. The inner critic quiets, not because you fought it, but because it no longer has a job. The body relaxes. The nervous system receives a signal it may not have received in years. I am safe with myself. And when you are safe with yourself, life becomes safer too. When you love yourself, life begins to mirror that love back to you. This is deep healing, not dramatic, not loud, but profound. Self-love tells the subconscious mind that you are worthy of care. And when the subconscious mind believes you are worthy, it allows goodness to stay. It allows joy to land. It allows abundance to settle instead of passing through. Gratitude and self-love are not separate practices. They are the same energy, moving in different directions. Now let us gently transition into the close of the day, because endings matter just as much as beginnings. How you fall asleep is how you speak to your subconscious for hours, and the subconscious mind is always listening. When you go to sleep with gratitude, your healing continues while you rest. This is not something you have to work at. It is something you allow. At the end of the day, I invite you to review your day not as a judge, but as a loving witness. You are not looking for perfection. You are looking for presence. Notice the moments that were kind, the moments that surprised you, the moments that made you smile, even briefly. And yes, notice the challenges too, not to relive them, but to acknowledge your courage in meeting them. Gratitude does not deny difficulty. It recognizes growth. You might say quietly to yourself, "Thank you for this day. Thank you for what I learned. Thank you for what I felt. Thank you for how I showed up, even imperfectly." When you do this, the day completes itself. Loose ends settle, the body exhales, and the mind no longer needs to rehearse or worry. It can rest, and rest is healing. The mind and body are always responding to our thoughts. When you fall asleep feeling appreciative, supported, and kind toward yourself, your body receives permission to repair, restore, and rebalance. Sleep becomes medicine. Dreams become gentle. The next day begins on softer ground. And now, as we come to the close of this teaching, Let us anchor everything we have shared with 2 simple affirmations. These are not just words. They are reminders of truth. Say them slowly, letting them sink into your body and your breath. I am divinely guided at all times. Feel how that lands. You are not doing this alone. You never were. And now say, all is well. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are learning to trust life and yourself. This is the Louise Hay way. Gentle, compassionate, deeply practical. You begin the day with gratitude, and you end the day with gratitude. And in between, you practice loving yourself a little more than you did before. That is enough. That is powerful. That is healing. So tonight, my dear, be kind to yourself. Thank yourself for making it through the day. Thank yourself for being willing to grow. And as you drift into sleep, let gratitude hold you like a soft blanket. Life loves you. You are learning to love yourself, and all is truly, deeply well.